All right, it's 5:30, August 7th, 2023. We'll call the Mandan Public School District meeting to order, and the first thing we'll do is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda? Nothing down there? All right, not seeing anything. What are the wishes of the board?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Silva, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item is public communications. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to address the board? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is the administrator's report. The first item on the administrator's report is update on the new construction. Ms. Pierce. Thank you for coming tonight, Lee.
Yes, thank you for having me. Well, I'll just give a quick update both on Lakewood and the Mandan High School. So down at Lakewood, Icon's been down there a couple times last week already doing punch list items for the academic wings, both A and D. Just marking up, touch-up things, kind of getting the list built up, and Northwest will be going through and getting that together. I believe staff's already started moving in now, starting today. Furniture had been delivered earlier, and so that had been dispersed throughout the school as well. We're working with Northwest then to figure out or go on the next punch list items, which will probably be areas E and F, which is the centralized area, as well as the kind of special ed areas to get those all done. But we wanted to get those academic wings dealt with right away so the teachers could get in, start getting their rooms set up appropriately. So the wood floor was going into the gym last week. The kitchen area has also been already punched out by our consultant, has gone through there twice. So trying to get some of those areas where we know staff really wanted to get into, get that ready for them and get them going. So that is Lakewood, when we continue to go down there every week out of our office. So.
Okay. Any questions, comments? I was down there a couple weeks ago. It looks nice.
Yeah, it's coming along.
It's coming along.
It's
Still a
kind
lot
of
of work.
ants on the hill, but that's usually how it is at the end of the construction project. So everyone's excited to get in there, and I don't know if the contractors are excited for everybody to be there quite yet, but we're making do.
Well, they should have been done then.
It's 2 weeks from tonight is open house down at Lakewood, so it's getting to be crunch time, but
Yep.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Open house for the parents and kids, right?
Correct.
All right.
And then for Mandan High School, just so that, not a lot of people know what happens behind the scenes. You can kind of see the construction progress up on the hill, which is always exciting to kind of drive up past there. It changes quite readily and often. So if you haven't been there in a while, drive up around there. Every week we have a BIM meeting in which we're taking all the shop drawings and we're building up a computer model of the project prior, hopefully to get ahead of any potential conflicts that might happen out on the job site, get ahead of that in the built model. We have our design model that we did, but now we're going through shop drawing, so actual pieces are being built into that. So we meet every Monday, and it's Icon and our design team, as well as Northwest and all the contractors are all on that call together, going through it, and then there any conflicts, we're talking about it and getting ahead of it. So they're hoping to have the entire BIM model done. They're shooting for the end of this month, give or take a little bit, as we're kind of fine-tuning a few things. But we've got it pretty well built, and it's pretty fun seeing that coming together. Just kind of you get a little mouse as you're walking through all the pipes and everything that are going through there. So it's kind of fun to do that. Then we have our construction meetings every Tuesday, and we're up on there, and it's all, it's a crowded house up there a lot of the times when we're, all the contractors and, again, the design team is up there going through progress. The job site foreman kind of goes through what he's been completed this week and foreseeing what's through the next weeks. We're phasing everything through. the academic wings are going pretty well. Just last week, we did walk through and talk about setup of classrooms, exactly where all the blocking is going to go for all the TV screens that are going in there, making sure all the data and the receptacles are being located in the appropriate locations, working with Ryan and his team for any other blocking maybe that needs to be on there, and then size of any of the technology that's being brought in, so we are all on the same page moving forward. So we went through a walkthrough on that last week. Upcoming, we have a scheduled check-in in which, again, Ryan and Mike come and meet with us, as well as the design team and Northwest, and we kind of do a quick check-in as to where everything's at. As we all know, supply chain things continue to plague us all. And we're trying to shift and pivot and keep progress going as we're waiting for other things. So we've been having check-ins every so often on that, just to see where we need to go and if there's anything anybody can do to help keep pushing that forward. There's no lack of anything to do up there. Again, if you walk by, you can see there's plenty of things to go on, but just making sure we're doing it in a timely manner and an efficient manner for everybody. So we have one of those meetings coming up in the next weeks. And then Icon and our design team, we usually do a site walk around about every other week, just kind of seeing how things are coming along in case there's any other issues or concerns that we have. We can try and get ahead of it, or at least talk it through and understand where things are all at. So that's where we're at with high school. We should be getting actually furniture bids back here within the next week or so and going through those. As you know, it's a big building, so there's a lot of furniture coming through. So it'll take us a little while to kind of go through that and make sure we've checked all the boxes there. So,
Sounds good. Any questions? No questions? What's the anticipated full enclosure date? Is it going to be before this winter? Because I heard it's supposed to be cold.
yeah, I know, I've heard it too. I would anticipate that they would want to get in close. I think we'll find out a little bit more once we have this next scheduling meeting. I know the roofers are following along with all the precast. It's going by pretty quick. We're just waiting on some steel components to get up, but I know the masons are up there too, so I can't give you a definite date on that. I don't want to pigeonhole myself on that because the weather might
I don't blame
tell me
you.
differently.
Yeah, I know the rain keeps pushing us back.
There's a concerted effort to try to get fully enclosed this fall, but it is, are we going to get all of our steel components here? And I think that's why they've been pushing through the academic wings as quick as they can to make sure that at least those areas where they're really labor intensive, that at least we can get those fully enclosed by fall.
Yep.
They're closing. I see the windows going in and everything like that, so.
Yeah, it's really taking shape, especially like I said, in those academic wings. It's all really kind of starting to come together and understanding the spaces really nicely, so.
Okay. Any questions? By the way, if any of you guys want a tour, just let Mike or Ryan know. They'll take you around. So
All right.
it's pretty exciting to walk around, boots on the ground once you want to get up there. It's a lot bigger than you realize until you get walking around.
Help to get your steps in if you go up and walk
Yes,
around
indeed.
the whole site. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Sure,
Appreciate
thank you.
it. All right, we'll move. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I just, I think it'd be a good idea to have a board meeting up there. I'd say October, November, before it gets too cold. Let's plan another board meeting to go out. We'll do a full walkthrough and take an hour with Icon and Northwest to really see how things are going.
Okay, sounds like a winner. Move on to the next item, state school construction loan, Mr. Legacy.
I'm excited to let you know that included in your packet is our approval letter from the Bank of North Dakota for an additional $20 million loan from the school construction fund. This is huge for us and taxpayers of Mandan. We're able to borrow an additional $20 million at 2%. Just if we were to go out on the open market and sell bonds even at 4%, we'd see additional interest costs of about $5 million. This is real savings for the taxpayers. I want to take a moment to thank Senator Shibley and Representative Porter for pushing this through. This is a big win for Mandan.
No, it is a big win. You're right. Thank you to all of them and everybody else that voted for it and got it done too. There's a lot of people that did, so we thank them on that. We'll move on then. Any questions on that before we do?
I might just make a comment that
Yep.
we had an $84 million bond issue, and we're going to sell $78 million and change of our bonds at 2% or less, which is incredible. So feel very fortunate about that, especially in the environment we're in right now.
Yeah, no, that's a big win. I mean, it definitely has for us a lot of savings that go along with that. All right, next item, school board member committee assignments for 23-24. Dr. Bitts?
Yeah, I put together a sheet last week. No one contacted me. I don't know if you heard anything, Mr. Wolf, and I don't know if you want to make any changes or.
No, I think, not seeing anybody shaking their head like they want to be on it. I think we'll just formalize this and we'll be done with it by the act of the chair and we'll move on from there.
Okay.
And then update on the near-site clinic, Mr. Legacy?
Yeah, this might be new to the board. I don't know if you noticed in the paper last week or the forum that West Fargo Public Schools is opening a near-site clinic. This is similar to what Jamestown has done. We found out about this a few months ago in our health insurance committee through our consultant that school districts are starting to open near-site clinics for their staff to receive services at a reduced cost. It sounds too good to be true from our health insurance consultant, but when you see the RFP come back and the money come back, it's something that we need to act on as a school district. So we're working with our consultant right now to put an RFP out there for a near-site clinic. And what this would be is we have a proposal for costs, and this will go out to our local medical providers as well as nationwide providers, where they could come in and set up a clinic. We're the sponsor of it. We would have some upfront costs. I don't know what those will be, but then our employees can come and receive reduced cost services. Right now, we are high deductible health plan, and so if you go to the doctor, you pay for that full clinic visit. If we can open up our own near-site clinic, our employees could go to that clinic and get services for a small copay of $25 or $35. This would be basically any urgent care services that are provided at, like a St. A's urgent care or a Sanford urgent care. That's the level of service that we're looking to provide here with this. So nothing concrete right now. I hope we can get this RFP out within the next 2 weeks. And as we get that information back, we'll share it with the Health Insurance Committee and make sure it comes back to the full board.
Have you seen that RFP yet?
I have not. I was hoping to see it today, and I have not seen it yet.
I'm just curious. All right, any questions on that? It's kind of an exciting deal. I think it's kind of a win-win if we can get it taken care of here. All right, not seeing anything else, we'll move on to the consent agenda, and the consent agenda is review and consider approval of previous board minutes from July 17th, 2023, approve June 2023 bills, approve June 2023 revenues, approve June 2023 expenditures. What are the wishes of the board?
I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Horn. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. We can go all different ways here. Mr. Peters seconds. Ms. Oval, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Moving on, we have no unfinished business. We'll go right to new business. Review and consider approval of financing resolution for coal development trust fund loan. Mr. Legacy.
Yes, we've been approved for the Coal Development Trust Fund loan. The resolution you see in front of you is so we can finalize that process and receive our funds. All this is doing is saying that we legally can accept those funds and the repayment will be from our general fund. I would ask that you approve this and we can get our money from Bank of North Dakota.
All right, and this is for the building, right? Just so everybody's clear.
Yep. 2%. Yep.
Any questions? What are the wishes of the board?
I'll move to approve the Coal Development Trust Fund loan.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Gazette. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Huvestal. Any further comments, questions, discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Oval, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Moving on, review and consider a motion to adopt the 23-24 preliminary budget for expenditures, revenue, and mill levies. Mr. Legacy.
Yep, included in your packet is our preliminary budget. I'm going to start on the expenditure sheet. It's very condensed. We're going to talk about this more in detail at the retreat, so I'm going to make this pretty brief. If I start off, the first two columns you're going to see are our FY23 final budget to our actual budget. You can see the totals on the bottom. We're within 0.5% of what we budgeted. I think that's a pretty good goal for us to end within 1%. So I'm happy to say we came in right there. Our proposed budget on the far right side, I want to point out a large increase that you'll see on the very bottom of the totals. In FY23, our final budget, we approved 57.3 in expenditures. We're going to 60.4. I want to make sure that you are aware and our public knows that this is in response to 18 new full-time teachers that we hired. We're opening a new building. The overhead on Lakewood is incredibly expensive. And then you did large raises for staff this year, which were much needed to keep up with inflation. So these were all needed expenses, and that's where the increases are coming on from. It's a lot of staff increases. So, are there any questions on the expenditures?
Yeah, Mr. Legacy, of this budget, about what percentage is salary?
Oh, I just did this. I want to say it was 80. I just sent it to Dickinson a few weeks ago. I want to say our number was like 82.5% is salary and benefits. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You know, I mean, and just to realize, yeah, it seems like a big number, but that money stays in our community and turns over many times in relation to it, which helps all the businesses and everything else that is there. So it does help in that respect.
It
It
is,
is a
and
big deal, our amount.
Yeah, and just a note as we budget for expenditures, we don't have a lot of discretionary expenditures, just so you know. Most of our budget is on people.
That's why I was asking
Yeah.
the question. It's
Yep.
about 18%, which
Exactly.
includes all our property and everything. So,
Exactly. Yep.
all right. Revenue?
Yeah, moving on to the revenue side, the same column that you're going to see as on the expenditure side, I'm going to jump almost all the way down to the bottom, where you'll see our 23 final budget. We had projected $57.5 million in revenue. We took in just over $58 million. Those increases above budget, a lot of that is still COVID dollars. We had reimbursement for Mr. Steckler's for being principal of the year. He wasn't here. That organization reimbursed us. Our special education unit had a large amount of COVID dollars that they needed to spend, so they reimbursed us for a number of employees. That's what causing the overage on the budget. And again, you'll see we had budgeted 57.5 for proposed for fiscal year 24. We're at 59.8. The two big increases I want to point out, the very top one, our general fund property taxes is going to go up our revenue by about $1.3 million. This is truly our taxable valuation increases for the district. We levy 60 mills in the general fund. We're proposing to levy 60 mills again next year. That is strictly the increase in valuation. And then about halfway down, you'll see our per pupil state aid has jumped substantially as well. This is the 4% increase on our per pupil payment, plus a few different multiplication factors. That's a big win for the district. We are growing, and the state is helping out growing districts with the new funding formula. So.
Any questions for Ryan on the revenue budget? I do, Ryan. I do have a question here. On Title I, how come we only got about 88% of it in? Is it just a timing issue, or?
Title I is a strictly reimbursement on your expenses program. We always have a carryover on Title I every year. So when I budget, I just put our full allocation plus last year's remaining budget in there. I think if we look back, we're probably about that 90% every year. We end up having travel or conferences that we don't go to, that we don't spend. Our schools will budget for supplies or equipment that they don't spend. We do always get those funds. We don't turn any Title I dollars back. It's just next year.
Okay.
We're always a little bit behind in the fiscal year crossover.
So when you're looking at it's probably 100% spent. It's just the way the carry forward is going here.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions on this? All right, go ahead with the mill levies then.
Okay, our preliminary mill levy for next year. I'm going to start up top with our taxable valuation of $184 million. This is a 12% increase. Again, we all got the valuation increases from the city and county this year, a large jump. Our general fund proposing 60 mills. This is the same as last year. Again, with the funding formula from DPI, they reduce our per pupil payment by 60 mills. So if we don't levy 60 mills, we will get hit on that twice. Our miscellaneous fund also goes into our general fund. This is used for salaries, building costs, technology. Last year, we levied 12, proposing 10 mills this year. Our special assessment levy, looking at a slight reduction from last year. Special assessment levy at 2.63 mills. This is spent for curb and gutter street projects that we're doing through the district. Just to make a note, with all the work at the high school, we'll probably see an increase in this in FY25, just so you're aware. The building fund at 18 mills. Our taxpayers approved us to go to 18 mills, I believe in 1957-ish, right around there. So we're capped at going to 18 mills. We use this for building expenses, anything attached to a building, that's where we use those dollars from, for long-term maintenance. And then our sinking and interest levy at 39.52 mills. This is our debt service. That's voter-approved debt that we have to pay back. And there's a slight increase this year that we're proposing. That's set. We paid off the middle school, but we're adding on the new loans for the high school. So a slight increase there. But overall, looking at keeping the total mill levy of 130.15 mills the same as last year.
All right.
Are there any questions on that?
Any questions?
Quick
Pretty
question.
straightforward. Go ahead, Rick.
Quick question. Miscellaneous fund. And we kind of use that to kind of balance out so we can keep the same. Is there any limit on that one?
We can levy up to 12 mills in the miscellaneous fund. Yep.
Any other questions? And we need an approval on this one, right?
We do need approval on this, yes.
And this one can be changed before we have the final submission?
Yes.
If we do make some changes based on everything that goes on, and when does that got to be submitted to the county for final?
Our preliminary budget has to be submitted by August 10th, final by October 10th.
Okay,
So we'll have our budget hearing in mid-September?
Yeah, I think it's September 18th is, I believe, the date. It's on our, one of our upcoming meetings.
September 18th.
And then we'll talk about this a little bit more at the retreat and give you some options.
Yes, and there will be some changes. I'm just going to tell you that right now. The $20 million in the school loan construction fund, I'm using estimates on there for payment. That's going to have to change a little bit when I get our final schedule. So.
Okay. All right. What are the wishes of the board? We need to review and approve the preliminary budget.
I would move to accept the 2023-24 preliminary budget.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Peters. We have a second.
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Horn. Any further comments, discussions? Mr. Legacy, thank you for putting this all together. I know it takes a lot of work for you and your team. Not seeing anything, Ms. Ova, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item on the agenda is review and consider a motion to approve the following teaching contracts. Connie Sheehan, counselor at Mandan High School. Dr. Rederath?
We would recommend approving her contract.
All right. Any comments, questions, or what are the wishes of the board on this one?
I move to approve the contract for Connie Sheehan.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Gazette. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Mr. Peters. Any further comments or discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Ova, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, welcome, Connie Sheehan, to the Mandan School family. Moving on, review and consider approval of the COVID-19 response plan as required by federal law. Dr. Rederath.
Yeah, as part of requirements for accepting ESSER funds through 2024, we have to maintain the COVID response plan, and you can find it on our website. It's on our main website on the left-hand side. We have a box dedicated just for that. I would recommend that we approve it, we re-adopt it, not needing to make any changes.
All right, no changes to it. How much longer are we going to have to do this?
Hopefully just through 2024, so through next school year.
Okay, just thought I would ask the question.
Yep.
What are the wishes of the board?
I would move to accept the COVID-19 response
All
plan.
right, we have a motion by Mr. Peters. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Peel. Any further comments, discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Ova, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Moving on, review and consider approval of open enrollment applications seeking a deadline waiver. They're in your packet, or sitting at your desk here. We should have them in that respect. Dr. Rederath?
Yes, you should see 3 of them. One set of siblings who are going to be seniors who just moved to Bismarck this summer. And then the other individual is a a student of a paraprofessional who's going to begin working for us and would like to have her child come attend in Mandan. So we would recommend the approval of all three.
All right, thank you. What are the wishes of the board?
I move to approve the open applications for deadline waiver.
We have a motion by Ms. Gazette. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Ms. Peel on this end. Heard that a little bit sooner. Any further comments or discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Oval, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item on the agenda is next meeting dates. On 8/7, which is tonight, we'll have a retreat at 6 o'clock at City Hall. 8/21, August 21st, we'll have a school board meeting at 5:30 in City Hall. 8/28, Facility and Finance at 5 o'clock at the Brave Center. Tuesday, the 5th, is a school board meeting, 7 o'clock at City Hall. 9/18, school board at 5:30 at City Hall. And 9/18 will also be the night of the budget hearing we were talking about earlier at City Hall. And the Insurance Committee on 8/10/2023 is what time, 4 o'clock, Mr. Legacy, with the Insurance Committee. And I'm assuming we'll be talking more about the near-site clinic on that one. All right. Anything else? Any other meetings that we don't have on here? If not, it is 5:56, meeting adjourned.